Hi, everybody. This is Richard Sleigh, and today I would like to talk about a few different things. What I'd like to be able to offer you is a way to speed up your mastery of music in general and your harmonica in particular, and also use that same process as a way to drop your stress level, use your mind in more productive ways, and learn more about how you actually memorize things. Anybody who studies music theory and tries to learn a musical instrument knows that a lot of it has to do with memorizing things, just rote memorization. So if you want to get better at that sort of thing, it helps to understand the basic process. And you already kind of know this, but reviewing it helps to make it more readily available and useful. So when you memorize something, you just repeat it over and over and over again until it drops into from your conscious mind, which is doing the repeating over and over again, down into your subconscious mind, which is the seat of memory. Once it gets thoroughly embedded in your subconscious mind, then it's automatic and it's ready to go, and you actually can't get rid of it in a lot of ways. For example, Pepsi Cola hits the spot, 12 full ounces, that's a lot. Every serving that you pour costs a nickel, not a penny more. I don't know why I can remember this, except that I must have heard it so many times when I was really little that it just dropped into, it's the combination of music and rhyming lyrics and whatever, and it's just stuck in my head. The thing is, when you repeat something over and over again, what you're doing is you're pointing out to your subconscious mind, this is important. Remember it. So when you play a scale and you do it deliberately and you do it over and over and over again, then you impress this as something important, something that you're training yourself, your subconscious mind to remember it. Okay, so that's why it's important to play the same without screwing it up enough times in a row that it drops in and then becomes automatic. So one of the things that also helps a lot as far as being able to think about music is to have a thorough command of the musical alphabet. And the musical alphabet is a series of letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and rearranged in different forms to create your scales. And the A, B, C, D, E, F, G comes from our 26-letter alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And one of the interesting things that you do with music that you don't normally do with the 26-letter alphabet is you go forward and backward frequently. So when you're going up, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C. Come on, Rich, you can do it. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So I'm working on training myself to go up and down, reciting the letters of the scale. And doing it forward and backward is easily, so one is just as easy as the other. And this helps me to think musically more efficiently. And the cool thing about this sort of thing is that this is something you can do. This is where I'm getting to the stress reduction part of my message. This is something you can do as a little miniature practice, no matter where you are, whatever you're doing. If you find yourself dropping into some kind of anxiety or worry or unproductive thought process, you can just say, time out. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay? And just doing that little process and doing it over and over until you get good at it gives you a lot of little miniature pattern interrupts during your day, and it can break up unproductive thought processes. So it's a twofer. You're gaining musical mastery, and you're spending less time with worry processes going out of control. And you can also, if you want to, do this with the full alphabet, and it's kind of a fun thing to do. I just decided to do this, and so I learned the alphabet when I was a kid with the alphabet song: A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Okay, and I thought, well, I want to learn to do this backwards, and probably the quickest way to do it is to use the basic structure of the alphabet song in reverse. So I came up with Z Y X W V U T S R Q P O N M L K J I H G F E D C D C B A. Okay, so it just was a little game I played with myself, and I did this when I had insomnia. I did this when I was out walking around, and I'd discovered that I had dropped into some thought process that I was not, enjoying, or I was worried about something, and basically my energy and thought levels were, tanking. So I just started doing this, and I took it was just kind of a fun thing to do, and it's also a general principle. If you want to learn, when they talk about learning something inside and out, forward and backwards, that means learning it from different perspectives. And it's just a good general thing to do with everything you take for granted as a way of keeping your mind plastic, malleable, open to learning new things, and remembering that there's always different ways to look at the same thing. So it's a fun thing to do. You can also, if you're out walking with a friend, you can turn around and walk backwards, have them spot you, and just experience that. And it's actually really, really good for your entire physical system to do these sort of things, walk backwards. Mick Jagger, for example, used to jog, I don't know, he probably still does, jog backwards as part of his regimen for getting ready for a tour. It was one of the ways that he kept himself limber and full of vitality. So doing things backwards is not as crazy as it sounds. It's actually a really great way to increase your overall mental capacity and vitality. So getting back to music, if you challenge yourself to memorize some patterns in your head, it will help you to think a lot more clearly about different things like chord arpeggios and scales. So if you think of the C, I'll stick with the C scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Going backwards is another useful thing to do with it. Another thing you can do with it that's really cool and very helpful is to memorize it in thirds, going up and going back. So this would be C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, etc. And why would you do this? If you get these memorized so that you can automatically start anywhere and get more automatically fast at thinking in those thirds, it will help you to understand chords more quickly. You can also do it as an exercise on the harmonica. Play the thirds. Just keep going. Whoops. Find those thirds going up and down. And then back and forth, back and forth. See if you can remember C, E, G, G, E, C, C, E, G, B, B, G, E, C. So these are all games you can play with yourself, no matter where you are. You can say them out loud. You can also think through them. And it gives you something to do with your brain besides worry about stuff. And it gives you also a lot of opportunities during the day to increase your mastery of music, because music is built on notes and scales, and the notes and scales have names. And if you can memorize patterns of the note names, it will give your it's like all this stuff just drops down into your subconscious mind, and it's absorbing all these patterns. It just gives that amazing, incredible, super fast processing of your subconscious mind a lot more material to work with. And I'll be coming up with more ideas about music theory and how to learn it in your spare time, as well as with focused practice sessions. So thanks for listening. I'll see you again.